What's up, mobile gamers? It's Johnzer Gigs, and we're back with another tier list video. Super excited for this one. I haven't actually done this before, so hopefully you guys enjoy. We are going to be ranking all of the heroes in a full roster tier list, which is going to be awesome. Very, very excited. I'm going to try to keep it around the same length as all the other ones, so not too long, not too short. And we're just going to go in alphabetical order. Obviously, we've got OP to C tier, and OP is more than likely going to only be like 5 heroes. It's going to be heroes that I think are just, absolutely cracked and stuff like that. Um, and I'm pretty excited to have the second half and the first half be kind of balanced in terms of where the heroes are. I'm also probably going to end up changing a lot of my placements. So, for instance, I think Aletta, right, for the average player is probably around, that A tier range. So if I get like 7 heroes in and I end up changing it, you know what? It's going to end up being a final version where I go through and I'm like, okay, this is where I want all these heroes and stuff like that. For the most part, I'll try to keep it simple and not change a whole lot. But I do think the S and A categories are going to be huge. They're going to be the ones that fill up the quickest. And we probably will only see a few of like a C character. I only think there's actually a handful. So, um, with that out of the way, Aletta's really good. She does have her rewind ability, which is nice. She has a ultimate that does a decent amount of damage, gets her invisible. She has decent guns. She's a really, really good flanker. I just feel the only thing holding her back is probably going to be the fact that she's a little bit more difficult for the average player to learn. They're going to pick her up and she's going to be like, probably that high skill ceiling, probably actually one of the highest skill ceiling heroes in the game. Um, with that being said, though, I still think she's A tier. The only reason I'm not putting her in S is I think that you really have a meta right now that rewards your damage dealers and your vanguards. So those heroes are obviously going to be higher on the list. And then when you talk about somebody like a flanker or a support, they're going to naturally be lower because of, what roles you need when you're playing payload or controller, whichever. I think that's really something to take into consideration. That being said, I think I'm going to stick with Chemist in the B tier right now. Right? Like I said, I'm going to change this eventually, probably. Um, I just think she is really good, but when you compare her to some of the heavy hitting damage heroes, she's going to fall short. She has really good healing capabilities. She can deal damage while healing in an area of effect, and both of her healing abilities are actually really good. So we're going to bring her up. I think she's at least a little bit more helpful than Aletta, unless the person you're talking about is good with Aletta. So if you're good with Aletta, I think you're really going to enjoy playing Aletta over Sindri. So if you're good, then Aletta's better than Chemist. I don't know why I said Sindri. Anyways, Christina has very good bounce damage, right? So you can bounce her projectiles off surfaces. And the reason she's kind of in that lower spot is when you take into account the meta, that B to C range is really where she's going to sit because it takes too long for her main fire rate and her first active to deal damage. I'd say that her damage is kind of subpar in terms of like how fast you can do damage. I think her ultimate's really nice, the jump's really nice. Overall, I'd say that she's a B tier of the damage heroes, but when you're considering who your top tier heroes are and who's meta, I think you're really going to find that heroes like Damon are just going to outclass her in every way, and there's really nothing to it. She also has a jump, but her jump can stick her to walls, which is awesome. Her passive is better. Christine's passive is not very good. Um, Faster damage, right? Her ultimate could use some work. Damon's ultimate It does damage. It's probably more likely to be used as a zoning tool if you're going to use Damon. That's probably what you're going to use it for. And the range that she's able to sit at and still consistently do damage is something I think a lot of people are going to underestimate. We're not, that's not a definitive spot, right? I'm putting her there just so I can see my S tier and decide if I want to drop her down into S tier or have her at the bottom of the OP section, because she is definitely meta. And when you're looking at these heroes, you really have to consider what they bring to the table. For instance, Diggy, you'll notice I rank her higher than Aletta in my flankers video, right? But if you're looking at what does she bring to the table, she brings a very similar style to Aletta, and it's debatable whether or not she goes S to A. Like I said, we're going to end up changing this down the line. It's by no means a final product. Actually, you know what? We're going to, top of A is where we're going to sit her. I think that's a good spot. Really, a lot of people say she has inconsistent damage, and I haven't noticed that. So out of fairness, I will take that into consideration and bring her down a tier, because in my personal opinion, she's S, but I know a lot of people struggle getting consistent damage, and having numbers that stay consistent, I think, is very difficult. The shark form is really awesome, very good movement, but you are going to get headshot by those snipers, because if you guys didn't know, the when you hit Diggy with a sniper while she's in her shark form, it counts as a headshot. I'm not sure if they patched it or not. I haven't played her in a while, so at the time of recording this, that is still in the game. She still only does get that headshot damage when she's in her shark form. So you do have to aim for the head when she is in her human form, and her teleport is crazy busted. It's probably the second best movement ability in the game, and the only thing that beats it is Damon's jump if you don't hit anything. So you just kind of glide past a wall, and it can send you very far, and Diggy is the only one that comes close to that level of movement. She has a very good second ultimate that entraps your enemies, and then her first ultimate has, it's really good, right? But it does have a bug. I'm not sure if they've patched it, like I said, where instead of, you jump left, jump right, jump left, jump right, and it does damage, it like, you jump once and then it like glitches upwards. So you just jump up and up and up instead of side to side, and you end up only getting one hit in. So I'm not sure if they've patched it yet. But if they haven't, then she kind of stays in that A tier. So really, when you're looking at the meta of Super Season 4, you're going to run into heroes like Fade. He's pretty good. I mean, there's no way to really sugarcoat it. I think the only reason he's not OP is because his shield doesn't really do as much as two of the other heroes that we'll be ranking later in this video. And his first active, right, when you rush, it can be dodged. So I personally have never had a problem landing my rushes, my I don't remember what it's called, my dashes. I don't know what you want to call it, right? But apparently he's pretty difficult to counter, or easy to counter, difficult to play, because it's hard to hit that dash. So I can understand that, but for me personally, the dash counters almost every ability except for invincibility and Fort's second active. So we'll just go ahead and put him. Whoops. We'll just go ahead and put him right here. Since we're talking about him, it doesn't counter Fort's second active that puts his armor on. So keep that in mind. But he does counter pretty much everything else. It's very strong when he can counter that. The shield's actually really good. I know I said it's not as good as some other shields, but any shield is better than no shield. You know what I mean? So overall, I think you can run him. His second ultimate, honestly, is what's bringing him into S tier. His second ultimate, it's probably the only one I would grind for that I'm like, oh my God, I have to have it. So keep that in mind. His second ultimate, literally, you can wipe a whole team without even trying. You just toss ult, boom, like the whole team dies. Obviously, Neon's ultimate will counteract that, but there is a chance if you time it correctly that she'll run out of her ultimate and maybe a stray shot will still land and bring them down to a lower health volume. So definitely keep that in mind. Fade's really, really good, but he's outclassed by some of the other tanks. And obviously, if you can take his shield down relatively easily with somebody like Damon or Gloria, then he's kind of a sitting duck because his dash is nice, but you can't really control where you go with it as much as I would like. You can still do it, but it's a little bit difficult to run away with it. And this one, it's going to break my heart to do this. I might end up moving her because I just love her so much. Gatlin, I love her. She's awesome. She's one of my favorite heroes in the game. However, she sits still too much. I know you can go in and out of your Uber charge, and she still has decent damage. If you activate her second active, it gives her that damage boost, that fire rate boost. But a lot of the times you want to activate it while you're in Uber charge. That way you can get that crazy damage off to break the shields. I just think, honestly, Damon does it better. And with a sniper slash invincible shield meta, it's really difficult to find value for Gatlin. A lot of good flankers, a lot of good snipers. All of the damage heroes are solid. So this is kind of a situation where should I be able to put her in A tier? Yeah, but I can't. I have to have a B and a C. And honestly, that A, B, C range is not that big of a difference. So it's literally more for spacing than it is anything else. I could rank all these guys, and that would probably be a lot simpler for some of you guys to follow. So let me know if you want me to. So I'll take out all the letters and literally just rank them and go all the way down the line and then all the way down the line, all the way down the line. Just have one big tier and fill it up as I go. So let me know if you guys want me to switch it up for part 2, because I know some of you guys just want them straight out ranked. But that is kind of, you have to put these guys in a box. If I'm going to put somebody in C out of the damage heroes, I think it's probably going to be Gatlin. She has a really good second ultimate. It's really, really good. It takes too long to spool up. And honestly, any competent sniper is just going to wait for you to come out of her second ultimate, or for your first to wear off, or for you to enter Uber charge and then they got you, headshot, boom. So keep that in mind. You have to be very careful when you play Gatlin. And I think the level of carefulness that you have to have is too much for me to justify you playing Gatlin over some of the other damage heroes. I think if you don't have Damon, then Gatlin's kind of that B tier hero, right? Because Damon can do what she does better and has better movement, so Damon can do it from better positions, and she's a sniper. But I just don't know. You know what I mean? She can go probably bottom of B. Like I said, it's going to be a lot easier once we have the second half of the roster in there, because you're going to get 4 heroes in each tier or something like that. And it'll be a lot easier for us to visualize where they're at relative to the other heroes. So here's Gloria, right? Honestly, you guys, Gloria's S. I know. A lot of people think she's A because all the sniper meta, there's a lot of damage heroes that are probably better than she is. She has right-hand peek. She has 2 forms of fire, which is nice. She can stop flankers with her proximity bomb, right? So if you set it down at a choke, or you set it down behind you and stuff like that, it does really, really good damage and kind of utility by bouncing them away. She also has a good second ultimate, which helps the team. That damage boost is insane. If you have somebody like Damon and a Gloria drops that ult, That Damon's killing everybody in one clip, not even joking, unless they have shields, right? So Gatlin or Gloria, man, I'm going to mess up names this whole video. Gloria's really, really good. Really awesome. Love her. She's awesome. She used to be OP, but now with all of this meta shift, I'd say that's dropped her down. She still has a very good first ultimate. Um, Only a handful of heroes can even, get out of it. Like Aletta can rewind if you hit her in a bad spot. I think Diggy can teleport out of it if you teleport once she throws it. If it hits you and then you teleport, I think you don't have enough time to teleport out of it. So let me know down in the comments if there's enough time. I haven't done the calculations or whatever. I'm not a math whiz. But there are a handful of people who can get out of Gloria's first ultimate. So keep that in mind. I think we're going to see her on the bottom of S, though. I do want to kind of let you guys know where these guys are at in terms of like relativeness to each other. So like Fort honestly is really, really strong. I'd say he's better than Hua Ling. Um, Simply because you have to lead Hua Ling's shots. You don't have to do that with all the other snipers, but Hua Ling, if you do not get that timing down, she's not as good. But I will be honest with you guys. I'm really better with Hua Ling than I am with any of the other heroes that have that sniping mechanic. She has a reveal, which is insane, and it's radius, so they can't see it coming. And then she has a tactical, because the reveal's her passive, right? I said she has a reveal, and a lot of you guys are like, "Oh my god, that's crazy," but it's actually her passive. It's oh my god, it's insane. Her first tactical stuns and does damage, right? So not a stun where they can't shoot, but a stun that like slows their movement and aiming down. So almost similar to the Judix tactical, and that is really strong. So her second active, you go invisible, and you have increased movement speed. And you can go invisible for a really long time, and all you do whenever you're in trouble or you think you might have a 1v1 coming up, go invisible, get in a good spot behind them or to the side, throw the snare so they can't turn around to kill you, and then free headshot, and you've got the 1v1. So if you manage her cooldowns correctly, you will literally never die unless a flanker focuses you and is really, really good. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. Hunter, man, this is tough. I think I'm going to do this. I know I had her in C tier, but I just don't think that the utility Gatlin offers is better than what Hunter offers. Because here's the thing. We'll do a video on Hunter versus Mark a little while later. Hunter has a lot of parts of his kit that you can get from other heroes. The reveal, Osas, Hua Ling, and Lacia all have a reveal. He has his healing field. Just have a healer or win your ones. You know what I mean? Like the healing field's very nice. It's very, very good, right? The problem with Hunter is the same thing with Hua Ling, except to a bigger extent. You only have 3 rounds in your burst. So you shoot a burst. If you miss even one of those shots, like one goes to the head, one goes to the body, one misses, then his damage is subpar. It's not that good unless you're hitting those headshots. And I feel like the average player, right? This is an average player tier list. In case you didn't catch that already, I said it before. The average player is going to find it hard to hit all 3 bursts. The heal is nice. It helps out. Both his ultimates are trash. I'll just say it right now. He has no redeeming qualities on his ultimates. The knockback is decent if you have a flanker on you, but you shouldn't. If you're good with Hunter, he's definitely A, right? So that's where you find that I kind of want to do this, but I also want to put some people in different tiers. So what's going to happen is the second half of this tier list, I'll put somebody in B and move Gatlin and Hunter up probably. So please, like, watch both parts, okay, you guys? Please don't freak out and be like, this is a terrible tier list, because some stuff's going to change. Obviously, the OP guys are pretty much there to stay, except Damon if I end up moving her down to S. And yeah, Hunter's passive, I don't even know what it is for sure. I'm pretty sure when you use it, it gives his tactical uh, back to him or something. I don't know. It's not worth mentioning. He does get a speed boost with his tactical, but like you don't need it. If you play Hunter well, you don't need his abilities, and that's the very big drawback is that Hunter doesn't have as much utility as some other heroes, and his main like aspect that makes him good is his gun. The reveal is nice, I'll give you that. The reveal is kind of nice, but I also feel like if you use the reveal and it's a smart team, they will immediately avoid that area. Or what they'll do is they'll have one of their guys go in, especially if you have comms. They'll have one of their guys go in and bait you, and you die. um, Iris is S tier. I know that she's not meta, okay? But she has really good damage, really good healing. She has a damage multiplier that she can put on whatever enemy she wants. Both her ultimates, her first ultimate is broken. It's so strong. The only people that really can kill you while you're in it are the one-shot heroes. I would argue that if the Damon's not hitting her shots, body shots aren't going to cut it. You can still heal with her tactical while they're in the first healing field. The second ultimate, right, with the blind, that actually can cut off a whole lane. You can make it so they can't even look at the objective. How insane is that? It's slept on. It really is. I'm not going to say too much more. I do need to kind of keep it going here. Jabali's S, okay? He is probably the second best tank. I don't think it's enough to make him OP. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at that, but I feel like, Fade counters all of Jabali's kit, straight up. The only thing Jabali has going for him is his shield absorbs a lot of damage, and it's on you, so you just pop it and it's there. And the only other hero that has that is Tigger. So, very simple one. He's S. He's strong. Good second ultimate reflects damage so you can punish your enemies. However, the higher skill you get, the more people are just going to not shoot at you straight up. So it's just a time waster. His first ultimate's all right. It's pretty good. Does decent damage. His range is kind of lacking, especially when compared to Fort. So I'm honestly not sure if he drops down to A. So I don't know, man, because you just don't have a mainstay tank like Fort. And I think just for that reason, he has to be an S. And then, your dive vanguards are going to be coming next. So, Johnny. I love Johnny, you guys. I love him. He's awesome. He's so much fun to play. You can literally just jump around the arena. The only problem I have is he only has one puddle. If they would just revert that nerf and give him two puddles, I think he'd be A tier. The problem is he jumps, you know exactly where he is. Half the roster can kill him. I've already done a rant video on him. Every time I talk about him, I end up ranting about his kit and stuff. He has no redeeming qualities. I'll just be honest. Anything you want to do with Johnny, you can do with every other hero. The only thing he has going for him is his second ultimate can put the team in a safe spot and allow them to respool their health and their gun ammo. But most people are going to just destroy it straight outright, especially with sniper meta and long range tank like Fort. They can shoot it from afar and just destroy it. So again, you have that time waster ability, but his kit is not as redeeming as Jabali's. So I can't put him in a higher tier. And I think, just so you guys know, he might go up. Okay, once we are ranking the rest of them, all of these guys are going to shift around. I do mean that. Pretty much all of them are going to be moving, whether it's down or up. Honestly, so maybe Johnny moves up. I think if you're looking at the roster, right now in this part, since it's two parts, um, it's just not enough. Sorry. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Judix is very, very close to OP. I think she's right out there, right in there with Gloria. She can right hand peek, crazy good damage. If you hit your headshot, she's insane. Um, the queen of utility, straight up. It is it's insane how good she is, how much she offers for the team, especially in terms of comparing her to the other damage dealers. There's very few heroes that offer the level of utility that Judix does. And the only reason she is not in a higher spot is because she only has 4 bullets. I'm just be honest with you, 4 bullets is not enough. She should have more bullets, straight up, but they would need to nerf her kit. She's got really good damage. If you hit your shots, it doesn't matter. Her passive's worthless, but both her tacticals make up for it, and both her ultimates are absolutely busted. Literally, the 4 bullets is the only reason she's not in OP tier, and I think she's probably the best hero to end it on because I think in terms of the hero you should try, the hero that is really making her a difference in the T3 meta and who is strong and who is weak is Judix. If you don't have a hero that can shut off enemy abilities or just kill them so fast it doesn't matter, or is a tank so they can absorb that damage when their abilities are on cooldown, that's where you struggle. That's where you're going to run into trouble. And Judix is the reason. All of her abilities are like debuff abilities. Her first ultimate is damage based, and she has a damage based gun, which is like very good with really, really high damage headshots as well as good damage on the body shots. So she has no drawbacks except for her bullets and passive, and I don't think they're big enough drawbacks to put her into A tier. But I don't think her utility is enough in this meta to put her into OP. If you didn't have tank and sniper meta, if it was just, season 1 T3 or something, she'd be OP for sure. She was already actually OP in season 1, if you guys remember that. But she was slept on back then, so, no worries. I really enjoyed this. We do have a lot left to cover. I know I have half the roster done, half the roster to go. Let me know. Do you want a big ranking where it's like, this is the best hero, this is the worst hero, boom? Or do you like it this way? Because I think this way's better, easier to understand. But keep in mind, watch part 2, please. It's coming out Friday. Watch part 2, and these guys are probably going to move around. This is not final by any means. Please don't flame me in the comments for my stupid opinions because you're going to have to wait till the second one to do that because that's when the really stupid opinions are coming. I mean, get ready to be mad. This is going to make you upset probably. I know a lot of people don't like my tier list and they think I'm crazy, but if I had it my way, the OP tier would be all healers. I'll leave you guys with that. We will see what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, where everybody needs to be. If you're like, oh, please, Ruby's definitely at least A tier. Let me know. Even if I haven't ranked them, I do want to know what you guys think. So we will see you in the next one.